Hello everyone. I have some new yarns and maybe you can see a little peek of them over there. And I had to do a video about them. We're having a big storm. I'm rather damp. There was a tornado warning. So we're going to talk about what I'm working with right here, which may look kind of familiar to some of you. This is actually Bernat Fluffee, or Bernat Super Fluffee, they're calling it. This is brand new. You can get it at Michael's. It's not on shelves yet, but you can order it online. And this is a 6-weight yarn. And it is just like Bernat Fluffee, which, as you may know, is one of my favorite yarns. It's a lot thicker than Bernat Fluffee. But looking at it, you might not think so, but it really is super fluffy and thick. It really reminds me of Forever Fleece, actually, which is a yarn I really like. It's thick like that. So they recommend to use a 10mm hook with this, but I found that to be way too holy and big, and so this is what an 8mm is looking like. This is all half double crochet here. It's really thick, really nice, and I am really enjoying working with it. I would say that this would make excellent fluffy and soft and warm blankets. I am making a sweater with it, a nice thick winter sweater. I'm getting prepared over here. I get into this mode when colder weather comes where I just am panicked about it. I grew up in California, so winters in New York are very different. I did go to college and things on the East Coast, and I've been living here for a while, but I find winters to be a little intimidating, and I'm always thinking that it's going to be absolutely a nightmare cold. There's going to be, feet of snow coming down at once, like thump. And it makes me like crochet like crazy. So I definitely have enough sweaters to clothe an army at this point. I will readily admit. I'm hoping actually to go to a craft fair coming up in a town right nearby, and trying to sell some of the many of these sweaters that I have made. I have too many to wear myself. I have a collection of sweaters that I wear, and all the rest are stored away and can be sold, because I never even check those bags anymore to see what's in there, because I have exactly the sweaters that I want. So, long story short, I have a bunch of sweaters that I'm going to try and sell. I have not done well with this in the past, but at this point, I'm going to price them ridiculously low because I want to get rid of them, and any money at this point would be great. I would donate these almost. I mean, I have so flippin' many. So, right now, I, again, am working with Bernat Super Fluffee. It just came out at Michael's, and I want to say there's like 178 yards per ball, and they're nice chunky balls. I had to get 4 to make my sweater, and that'll leave me with some left over. But this is a really thick, delightful yarn, and I believe that blanket makers will be very happy with this, because it's a nice alternative to Bernat blanket and those chenille yarns that you make blankets with. If somebody made me a blanket out of this stuff, I would be so stoked. Can somebody do that? Make me a blanket with this stuff. We'll talk. I think this is just a delight, and I love the new colors. I want them to have more colors and more styles of Bernat Fluffee. I just think this is one of the most delightful yarns to work with. It is a sheddy yarn, fair warning. It does shed, but the shedding stops very quickly. I have many sweaters of this that I've worn a bunch, and the shedding is like one day, and then it's pretty much gone. It can be very sheddy depending on what color you use of Bernat Fluffee, the original. And I noticed that the light blue color was the most sheddy out of all the colors that I used, and I used them pretty much all, except for that like lime green color and the yellow. I've pretty much used everything else. So I would say that for some reason that was the sheddiest, but this, you can see it in, you can see all the fuzz there. It's very fuzzy, but so soft. All right, so on to the other things that I have that I'm very proud of here. Look what I have, the big anniversary cakes. This color is opal. This says, I'm going to read it to you because I don't remember all the specs on this. This says to use an 8mm. Woo! My favorite hook. It is machine washable and dryable. It's a 6 super bulky. And there are 1,029 yards. And I will say, having used last year's anniversary cakes to this year's, there is a hole in one side of this bag that I was able to grope the yarn through. And it is not as soft as last year's, but it seems to be better woven and not as variegated, I think, just looking at the colors that it has. It's more stripy this year, I think, than variegated. They are squishy. And I've got the other color that I liked here, Oceana, which looks really similar to one of the colors last year. Oh my God, this bag is so soaked. And that's just from rain that like blew in with the wind. Ugh, thank God they're in plastic bags. And under a roof too, so they're not getting soaked, but yikes. These are so squish and so delightful. And you know, the yarn may not be like your favorite yarn, but there is something so special about working with these cakes. I have made sweaters with them and I have a ton left over because I only need about 650 to 700 yards for a sweater. And these go a lot longer than that. So you can make like a hat or a scarf, or you could make a hooded sweater or something that you wanted. These are just fabulous. So I know that they're really popular and everybody's like, yay, the anniversary cakes. I think there's actually a reason. These are so big. They have so much yardage. It's a nice thick yarn and they come out, you know, in these limited editions, and they make people really want to buy the yarn. So it's not the highest quality yarn in my opinion. And yes, they are very expensive per ball. I think this was like $40 a ball and the other one was half off, so it was 20. Like $60 for 2 balls of yarn seems wildly extreme. Except think about how many balls or cakes you would have to buy to add up to this amount. It actually works out to be the same. So anniversary cakes at Michael's. This color again is Oceana and it's very, very beautiful. I cannot wait to work with these. And they are in stores. They are. However, it doesn't always report online that they've got them. I recommend just calling your Michaels and being like, hey, do you have the anniversary cakes yet? And have them go check and see. A lot of times they haven't come in yet. Like in my stores, I'm waiting for this week when they're supposed to get them. And I will have to call because I'm not going to drive for 45 minutes to the store. It's actually almost an hour, I can't lie. More like 56 minutes. To my closer Michael's doesn't have anything and I hate them. I try not to go there. It's awful. Their yarn section is small, pitiful. It is a mess always. And their yarn balls are like messed up. Like people have played with them and they've come out of their labels, or the label is ripped, and you can tell that like people were yanking on the yarn ball. I don't know what. So they're not like new yarn balls for the most part. I've had really awful luck there, unless something is in the Corone cake area. Everything else on their shelves is terrible. So this is what we're aiming for. Big, nice, thick sweater. Oh God, I can't wait to wear this. It is so thick and chunky. And I love this Bernat Fluffee, the original, but Super Fluffee is indeed super. I would use either of them. I used this 8mm instead of the 10 that they recommend. And that's what I used for the original Bernat Fluffee, which is a 5. And they both come out pretty darn similar, but the Super Fluffee is a lot thicker. And it's just as delightful to work with. As you see, I'm enjoying this. So please, just know, everybody, that Bernat Super Fluffee is excellent, and I think it would make the nicest blankets, the nicest plushies, the nicest sweaters. I see so many uses for this yarn. All right, I will end my video here and continue crocheting. Bye, everybody.